The inputs are the only thing you can control and the only thing worth focusing your attention on. I'm going to talk about why that statement is true for me, specifically in context of my life at my work and in relationships, I guess you could call it. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Duncan Alderdice, and the reason I'm making these videos is to document the journey I take as I become who I am by making small improvements to my life every single day. So first item of business is related to work, because this is the habit I want to kind of revitalize, is 31 dials on the day. That's the input. 3 demos booked, 2 more realistic ones, 1 pseudo kind of on the fly demo held. So I guess that will make it 4 demos held, and 1 deal closed. We will get into that later. But so in regards to the more important aspect, the thing that I've been focusing on this week, 2 ways on, is like I'm back on Hinge, and so sending messages out, haven't really been getting any replies back. So just focusing on like, ignore that. All I can do is send out messages, and then that's all I can do in my control. As well as in work, it's like I can't get people to close. All I can do is increase the amount of reach outs I'm doing for people. So in context of work, increasing the amount of outreaches I'm doing, which is reflected in the demos being booked, which is we're playing the $150 game, led to, and applying the same day, next day booking video call principle of like increasing that show rate, led to a close today. The guy I booked at around 4 o'clock yesterday, I booked for 2-day video call with everything that we had a good, not just a booking phone, like a phone call where I just got a meeting, but like established he was in a growth mode, what do we have to offer, kind of anchored him to a particular thing, then sent him some information to review, and really the point of this call was to go in more detail and ultimately make a final decision. In that email, I actually included pricing. So because on the pricing page it says no contract, transparent pricing, but just so I wouldn't be upfront about that. But and that led to a sale, which kind of seems counterintuitive, like you're supposed to wait till the end to bring the price. But I think why it was effective, it might be a false positive, but I think really the reason it was effective is because I did a good job establishing in the first call that he actually was suffering from the problem that this program solves. And then so coming to the call, there was no, like that initial price shock was gone. Because it was interesting, because it was at one point where at the end, he, like I asked, is this something that you want to try out? And he said, like short answer, yes, but he wants the weekend to think it over to figure out which plan to go at. And then so it's like, okay, cool. You've said yes. Now you need to help making the right decision and feel comfortable making the decision and getting on the platform today. What's holding back? What it was is like, well, there's a risk-free trial, 72 hours. And he's going like, yeah, that would be great, but I don't want to be spending the weekend worried about this, having to look into it. Okay, cool. What if I extend it out a week? Yes, that solves that problem. Okay, fantastic. Other thing, difference between studying with the green or the gold. Green seems like it gets enough, but it's not a decent enough sample size. Gold, I don't know if I kind of want to do. I sweetened the deal. I did that upsell green to gold technique, going like, you get bonus households here, but if you get more bonus households on the gold and then a bit of a discount, which is recurring, that makes it the deal sweeter. Then he went with this one. Again, moved forward with it. And also, it's funny because they're going like, oh, you upsold them. I go like, yeah, but I have more confidence in this offer. It's actually a better offer, which is what the point of going through it. It's like you just made the offer better. So it actually is the better decision because you get the larger sample sizes, better cost per lead. And like the difference in money that being spent, if you're gonna spend if you're gonna try us out at a good level. And I believe that they'll have still success with that. But so that was cool. Again, that like, and only this is where to tie it back. This is coming as a consequence of focusing on the things that are within my control in order to get the outcome I want. I can increase the amount of dials I'm making and the demos I book. I can control when I book those demos, so the same day, next day booking. I can control how the call goes and what is said and what is sent. Everything within my control led to the great outcome, which is fantastic. So that's on a work front. On a more personal life front, so on Hinge, I've only been focusing on the inputs, haven't been getting in messages back. But last night, I got a match. So that was sweet from one of the messages that I had sent out, which I didn't get a reply to, even though I included a question. So we're gonna wait for them to reply to that, just because it seems like it's odd for me to double text when there's like an easy, like it's going like, what's their pet's name? And it's like, well, that's an easy question to answer. So if you haven't answered, I don't know how to, if it was just a like and then they matched with me, then it's like, okay, I'll start a conversation. But since it wasn't, I'll just kind of wait. But what it tells me is that then it's not so much that the people are saying no to me, but because Hinge is something where unless you pay for the app, you can't see all your likes, and you have to kind of work through them, they might just not be seeing it. And that's what paying for it would bring me to the top of that list. And then as well, today I got another match from the people messages that had been sent out, and this person actually replied to the message. That was really exciting. And so that's cool. And then so I haven't replied to the message yet. Okay, no, I haven't replied to the message yet because I'm thinking like I could have, but I do want to set a work boundary, because setting boundaries is not a thing that I have done very effectively in previous relationships and anything in regards to this. I've just kind of bent over backwards what I can do to make the relationship occur and become desperate and all that, which ultimately leads into me losing myself in the relationship, then developing resentment, and then becoming a more toxic individual in the relationship, ultimately leading to its demise. So again, can you blame that person? You could, but blaming that person doesn't help me. If I blame myself, then I actually grow. Fantastic. So specifically what a work boundary is like going like, no, I'm not available all the time. When I'm working, so that it's a realistic standard to say to. I will. It's not a game. Like I'm going like, oh, I want you to like miss me or anything like that. It is. I am at work, and maybe there's free time where I could be messaging, but I'm going like, I want the free time to be spent. I want my work time to be spent on either working or not working at work. Not doing something else while I should be working. Like it's like if you're writing a book and you sit down to write for an hour, you can do nothing other than write or sit there and not write. You know, you can't watch Netflix, can't do any sort of thing. But I will reply to it, and I'm curious. The other thing I'm noticing is just like going through this process, I'm not as like super giddy, kind of like super energy excited, which I think is a good thing, because then I can approach the interaction more objectively. And I think it's more, I don't want to approach it going like, it needed to work. It's like, no, let's see if it does. Let's see where it goes. If anything happens, I have no attachment to the outcome. I just need to, I'm going to reply. We're going to see where the conversation goes. I think what I'm going to try to do is not spend too much time on the app. See when it would be appropriate to, like, just kind of see if I can get her on the phone so we can actually have like a replay. Like, but just going like, I'm going to initiate the conversation. I think the other thing, I forget what the actual thought that I was having. I think it was the actual end of the thought, but the thing that I will be focusing on, like with my messages, what I'm going to try to do is like steer the conversation somewhere, and not just like be bland with it, not stick in this particular conversation. Try to find things about them, and then so that it kind of like goes somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. But hopes are down. All of this is just to say that focusing just on what is with my control has led to where I'd like to go, both in the work and personal front, and therefore it is a principle that ought to be followed, adhered to. I don't know. I'm excited and relaxed, and it's the weekend, and yeah. Clementine Club, thanks for sticking around as always, and remember to believe in yourself, because you're more capable of doing great things than you give yourself credit. I'll talk to you later.